If you got questions, we might have some answers for you. We want to welcome Kevin Sheldon, Associate Pastor at Lutheran Church of the Cross. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
You guys are starting a big series, 11-week program of life's biggest questions. That's a big ask.
Yeah, for sure. So what we're doing is a program called Alpha, and yes, as you mentioned, we're answering life's biggest questions. And the truth is that people have questions. Doesn't matter your religious background. People have questions about a number of different things, like what is the meaning of life? Does my life have purpose? Those kinds of things. And so we want to provide a space where we can answer those questions. We want to be able to just share with the community a space of hospitality, and a space where people can have those big questions answered. And so, yeah, over the course of the 11 weeks, starting on January 24th, we're going to be we're going to be looking at those questions, and we're starting off with a big one. And that question is, why am I here, and what is my big purpose in life? It's a general question that I think everybody and anybody can have. I'm sure you and I at different points in life,
believers or non-believers, or say, what's my purpose here? And obviously, Alpha, I assume, is I am the Alpha and the Omega from the Bible, of course, talking about God. He's the beginning and the end. So I'm guessing that you're going to start with God has a purpose for your life, right? Maybe that's a big, even if you don't know it, I know that's a common thing that a lot of people at churches talk about. You may not know your purpose, but God knows your purpose, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so it starts with that general overall question, and then it slowly builds into looking at different aspects of Christianity. So like, why prayer? And what is prayer? What is the Bible? Who is Jesus? All of these important questions that are key identifiers of Christianity and what make Christianity distinct from other religions. And so the one thing I love about Alpha is that this is done in a very conversational manner. It's done in a very relaxed manner, but most importantly, it's done in a safe manner. This is a place where people can ask questions, this, that, and everything.
A judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone, exactly. And then also with the added bonus of we cook a meal every single Wednesday that we have Alpha, and so people can come and they can share in some delicious cooking, a little bit of insight. Our head chef. She used to own a catering company, and so we're going to be cooking up some delicious food for those dinners. And so it's always, there's something powerful about coming together, sitting at a table, sharing in a meal together, because that's where just general conversation starts off. But then slowly but surely you can get deeper and deeper into conversation, and then after we have dinner, then we go into a time of watching a video because. Hate to break it to you, but we didn't invent this ourselves. We felt like we didn't have to reinvent the wheel in order to make this happen. This is an international program. This actually started in England with a pastor by the name of Nicky Gumbel, and then it just exploded out into the world just because of how dynamic and effective it's been in answering those questions for people and for people to experience life transformation.
So when somebody comes to you and they say, let's start with that first basic question, what is the purpose of my life? Or I don't know if I have a purpose. What's kind of the answer that you kind of you start with in terms of kind of easing them into that understanding of what maybe there's a purpose and you don't even realize it yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's when it comes to answers, it's not. I always find that it's not so much about like the answer that you get.
It's not a true and false quiz.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like a true and false quiz, but it's more so like you want to help people feel cared for and that they're listened to. And so I'm always, trying to hear the question behind the question.
Right. Whether they feel lost, or they just don't feel like they're serving something, or maybe they feel like they're not doing enough, or there's some sort of inadequacy. So you feel that part out a little bit too, right?
Yeah, you feel that part out a little bit, and then you, based off of reading those cues, whether verbal or nonverbal, then you provide the answer to the question. And I would say for a lot of people, it's just affirming to them that yes, your life does have purpose, and from a Christian lens, that it's God who's the one that gives you purpose. It's a God who loves you so much with an unconditional love, and a love that runs deeper than any ocean, any body of water we could possibly imagine in the universe, and that He has a purpose for your life, and it's just a matter of starting on that journey, like Alpha,
Yeah.
Alpha being the
Right.
first letter of the Greek alphabet.
Right.
That's that first, that first step on that journey towards figuring out what your purpose is. And
Is
knowing
being
that
with a community, body of the church, an important first step to kind of find people who are like-minded or find people who want to serve as well?
Yeah, I mean, community is so important. I mean, we're living in an age where even though from a technological standpoint, we could connect with somebody, halfway across the world, all the way around the world. Research is finding that people are lonelier than they've ever been. And I think the pandemic just made that worse. So we really feel as though as the church, we're trying to almost reestablish and reinvigorate community.
Right.
And provide a space for people to connect with others who are like-minded, or for people who are with people who they know that they're going to experience love, and they know that they're going to experience compassion and care from them.
Right. I think a lot of people, the social communities out there on the web, they're almost the antonym to community, right? They're this fake kind of world that it doesn't really exist, and I can't have this kind of interchange with someone, and I can't get to know someone in that world, even though people maybe lean on that. So they're on social media so much more these days because, like you said, the pandemic, but we feel so apart from people.
Yeah, and on social media, it's almost like you can hide behind this wall, and then if for whatever reason your intent is to hurt somebody, you can just hide behind that wall. You can toss the words over the wall and see what they do and see what damage they can create. But when you're having a face-to-face conversation, you're experiencing more than just communication. You're experiencing connection. You're experiencing just an opportunity to connect with a whole person. A person that has feelings, a person that has emotions, a person that has questions, and there's such a value, and I think we learned that in the pandemic, that like just the face-to-face interactions, being live, face-to-face with people is important.
What about service? When you talk about people having a purpose, is service part of that purpose? Can it feel that way sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, Christian or not, always feels like they want to do good in the world. They always want to find their niche as far as like how they can give back to their community, or how they can serve, or a justice initiative that they want to take up in some way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, service is a huge part of that, finding your purpose. And specifically, like within the church, it's figuring out what are your giftings, but then what's an area that you're passionate about.
Right.
I think there's a difference between serving out of obligation because mom and dad made me do it, or versus I genuinely have an interest in this, and I want to make a difference, and I want to serve the community.
Yeah, and sometimes people can be intimidated by that because I'm like Pastor Kevin. I can't go up there and preach. But sometimes it's the guy flagging you in at the parking lot, or the person who makes the coffee for the So there's all sorts of levels of service. Even if you feel yourself, I don't have anything to contribute, your time and being there can be that act of service.
Yeah, but it's also the case too where I think sometimes people they think too big, like they're looking at world hunger, and they're like, I'm just one person. How could I possibly do something about world hunger? But little do we realize that it's actually one person at a time, one step at a time, to where there's almost this ripple effect that occurs. To where people looking back over the course of 5, 10, 15 years can be like, oh wow, serving that one person, I guess, made all the difference in the world.
There you go. All right, before we let you go, Kevin, I want to talk about the start, January 24th. Give me the whens, the where, the hows, and the whys.
Yeah, so January 24th at Lutheran Church of the Cross, right across the street from Olive Garden. So if you know where Olive Garden is, off
Right
of
there
El
off El Toro Road.
Yep. In fact, a lot of people from our church, they'll go to an event at our church, and if we're not serving a meal at it, they'll just run right across the street to Olive Garden. So so they know us well over there. And so yeah, that's when. And then it'll run all the way through April 3rd. I believe April 3rd is that last Wednesday of the 11 week. It's from 6 to 7:30 in the evening. And yeah, if you're looking for more information, you can go to our website, lcotc.org/alpha. But it's also, you can sign up when you go to our website in general, lcotc.org. right away on the front page, you'll see Alpha and get connected with Alpha and sign up.
Sounds great. Hope people get out there. Pastor Kevin Sheldon, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.